Welcome everyone to the Team BLA Legends League once again. Today is race 7 out of 10 for the season. Currently, Kevin Harvick is the points leader with 108 points going into this race. Tony Stewart sits 11 behind with 97. Kyle Busch out by 12. And below is the rest: Clint Boyer, Richard Petty, Matt Kenseth, Christopher Bell, former points leader Bobby Labonte, who has had a bit of a mid-season slump. Let's see if he can regain some form. And last week, Kevin Harvick, he finished second. He's going to be hungry for another win this season. And Tony Stewart, he went 2 races in a row. Unfortunately, last week ended his what could have been a free race win streak. And as we go further down the list, we can see drivers all the way down here: Jamie McMurray, Sterling Marlin, Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, etc. All these drivers are very low on points, and although they are mathematically still competing for the title, it is highly unlikely that they will now, and they are going to need an absolute miracle to be able to catch back up. So anyway, let's get this underway. Let's open the game. So it's 20%, 40 laps, 100% of strength. Yep, that's good. Continue.
Drivers, 2 cars.
Alright, so the points leader, Kevin Harvick, is on pole position with a fast time of 36.642. And there's the rest. This might be good for McMurray, who has had a terrible season so far, has had multiple incidents with just being very
Drivers,
unlucky.
to your car.
So this is what he needs. Now let's go to the spectator cam for this race start here for the IB Program 80 at Michigan. Here we go, green flag in the air. We are racing at Michigan. Immediately, these guys are going 3, 4 wide as they enter turn 1. Now let's see here, do they survive? Yes, they do. They got 3 wide out of the corner. McMurray lifted. He falls back a bit. Now we got a battle for the lead between Kevin Harvick and I believe that is Greg Biffle alongside him. Also, I just realized I forgot to do the driver's intros, but okay, it doesn't matter right now. And so far, the field is starting to spread out. You can see McMurray clear of Jimmy, but Jimmy Johnson is going to go back to the inside. He left the switchback. Here comes the rest of the pack. That's going to be dangerous for McMurray. You do not want to be on the outside lane. That is the exact opposite of where you want to be. It's the slowest way around the track, unfortunately. And so a lot of these guys, Kyle Larson, for example, somehow Greg Biffle has cleared the 4 car. I'm kind of surprised. And I believe it was the 16 who won last week at Kansas in the Bass Pro Shops 81. But the outside lane does have one advantage, and it's that you can get a run coming out of the corner. So that might have been how Greg Biffle beat him. Now you can see they're single file. Larson alongside Jimmy Johnson. That is preferred. Larson, I believe, is going to clear him. Now here's Dale Earnhardt alongside Jimmy. is the TV2 cam. Yep, it's TV2. Larson currently clear. And free wide, I think. Yep, Jamie McMurray, Dale Earnhardt, and Christopher Bell. Bell falls back. Edwards is going to get alongside him. McMurray, I think, he's going to lose a spot here to Dale. Or, no, I think he might stay alongside him. Does he stay alongside? No, he goes behind for the draft. And Kyle Larson, I believe, is going to move. McMurray with a move to be inside of Dale Earnhardt now. The Intimidator is getting taken over by little Jamie baby here. And look at that. The pole sitter, Kevin Harvick, dropping back. Larson's going to try to take second now. Jimmy Johnson trying to stay close behind. And Larson is now clear. Jimmy Johnson now alongside him. McMurray has cleared Dale Earnhardt. Earnhardt, I think, might be looking to make a move, though. Let's see. No, he stays behind. Continues in the draft. And now Jimmy Johnson. He lifted a bit, entering turn 3. He could not get past the closer, Kevin Harvick. So far, a clean race. Mostly single file. Dale Earnhardt now making a move to be inside of Jamie McMurray. Can he get there? Jimmy Johnson with the bump draft. Dale Earnhardt goes back in line. The issue is that here at Michigan, the draft effect is extremely strong. You want to be behind someone else. As now Jimmy Johnson, he's making a move to be inside of Kevin Harvick. Let's see if he can make the pass here as he enters turn 1. He gets alongside him. He's currently past him. And he clears the 4 of Kevin Harvick. And so far, Kevin Harvick in the number 4 car started on 4 and has now dropped all the way back to 4th. He's about to get under fire from Jamie McMurray. I think McMurray had to lift a bit there. I think he might have gone a bit loose. He might have gotten loose there. But so far, these guys are maintaining mostly single file all the way to the back of the pack. So as of now, I think Kevin Harvick would come out of this race with the points to lead, as he is currently the only title contender, I think, in the top 5. Larson and McMurray are both drivers that are really low in points. Greg Biffle and Jimmy Johnson, I believe, are about mid-points right now. So Kevin Harvick so far could extend the points lead. But with how he's been dropping recently, it doesn't seem like that will stick for him. So when these pit stops come around, he's going to have to try and make some sort of adjustments. And now we can see here Jimmy Johnson trying to make the outside work, but Kyle Larson goes to the pits. And it's lap 10. We've got pit stops. So let's see, how do these drivers play their pit strategy? Larson, I believe, is going to try to early pit. And so far, once again by Greg Biffle, a dominant run from the 16 car. He has been so fast these past 2 weeks. Last week he dominated at Kansas, as now he's going to come into the pits. Let's see who follows. Virtually everyone follows him into the pits. Clint Boyer. There's Kyle Larson. There's Brad Keselowski. I believe he stayed out. So let's see here. Does the 33 pit? And so far, side note, the 33, Clint Boyer, is the only driver so far who has earned points in all 6 of the previous races so far. So let's see here. Does he continue that streak? As now he comes into pit road. There's Kyle Larson. Brad Keselowski now entering the pits. So as we can see here, everyone has now made at least one pit stop. And so the ideal time to pit, around lap 10 to 12, it seems. There's Greg Biffle now coming out with the lead, I believe. He's right behind him is Jimmy Johnson in the 48 car. It's the 7-time champ Jimmy Johnson looking to steal the win from Greg Biffle, who clearly has the dominant car. I'm just not sure if Jimmy's going to be able to do anything. Here's Kyle Larson making use of his fresh tires. And Larson gets ahead of him. He cleared him. He ran him up the track a bit of a dirty move, but it works. New second place driver, that's Kyle Larson. And there's Clint Boyer coming back onto the track. That pit strategy seems to have worked for him. There's Jamie Mack. And Dale Earnhardt. Christopher Bell. Bobby Labonte. The 2 Labonte brothers have it looking to make a comeback here. Bobby, he started off the season extremely strong, but has fallen off the past 2 or 3 races. His brother Terry Labonte started off very weak, but so far has been making some slow but steady progress. There's the closer, Kevin Harvick. He might have had a bit of a bad pit stop there, so that's going to really affect him, but as of now, he should still have the points lead. His only worry right now is Clint Boyer in the 33, because Boyer, I believe, sits 4th or 5th in points. I can't remember, but he's really high in points right now. Now, Kyle Larson trying to make a move on the outside. Remember, this Michigan, this track, is where Kyle Larson got his first Cup career victory. Can he repeat history to get his first win of the Team BLA Legends League here at Michigan in the Ivy Program 80, as Greg Biffle is now going to try to escape. Now Larson under attack from Clint Boyer here. This is for third. Boyer falls back in line now. The top 4 have separated themselves and are now trying to catch the leader, Greg Biffle. And so far today, this has been a very good run for McMurray, as now he's under attack from Dale Earnhardt. You can see McMurray wanted the bottom, but Dale was there already. And now McMurray, I think, is going to have to try to get a run here out of turn 2. Can he do that? So far, he's still clear of him. I think he got into Walberville. But no, McMurray stays ahead for now. Now the Intimidator trying to stay alongside him. It's Burger King versus McDonald's. What about it? And now we go further up through the field. There's Boyer trying to make a move. They get by Jimmy Johnson. Does Boyer get past Larson? He's trying here on the backstretch. So Jimmy Johnson is going to give a bump draft to the 42. The 42 stays ahead now, trying to stay alongside the 33. And so far working. But I think the 33 is going to be clear. Yep, he's clear. The issue with what these 3 guys are doing is that by battling each other, They are essentially giving the win away to Greg Biffle. What they need to start doing is start bump drafting and to catch up to the 16. Because right now, the 16, he's benefiting from all this battling. So let's see here. Does Boyer... Yep, Boyer's going to make a move here. Never mind, they stay single file for now. There's Jimmy Johnson now. He's trying to make it too wide. He gets to the inside of Clint Boyer here. Boyer got a bit loose in turn 2. But he's going to have to run out of turn 2. We are at the halfway point of this race. We should have a few more pit stops. About 2 or 3 pit stops to go. Let's see. Who played their cards right here in Michigan? We should see pit stops very soon. Oh, Boyer trying to get to the inside of Larson. Larson throws the block. Boyer bump drafting the 42. Boyer goes high. He's trying to overtake the 42. I think the 42 is going to pit here, though. Yep, sure enough, the 42 is pitting. And the second wave of pit stops are now underway here. So Greg Biffle so far having a mid-season comeback as he started off the season very weak, let's say. He hasn't been strong early in the season, but so far, late into the season, he's really been making up for it. As now we see multiple cars coming to pit road. There's Earnhardt, McMurray, and Biffle. So most of the leaders have come to pit road. There's Martin Truex Jr. battling the 6 and Mark Martin. So there's the 42. He was the first one on pit road. And now, here he is. I believe he is going to take the lead soon. So he's going to have to push as hard as he can if he wants to stay ahead of the 16. There's Jamie McMurray coming on pit road now. There's Dale Earnhardt and Greg Biffle. McMurray, I think, had a bit of a slow pit stop here. And now Earnhardt a bit slow. Larson trying to get to the outside. He gets there. These two being alongside each other for second is not going to help either one of them, as Earnhardt is now going to fall back to third. There's Jimmy Johnson coming back onto the track. He's a bit slow. He throws the block on Larson. Larson gets there though. Jimmy Johnson a bit loose there. Larson's going to get past him though. Now Dale Earnhardt trying to go 3 wide into turn 1. They are 3 wide. They got a bit loose there. Johnson falls back. Earnhardt's going to take advantage of the situation here. But Larson, he's making that outside lane work. He is battling as hard as he can against the free of the Intimidator. But here's Clint Boyer looking to steal the show here. He's on the outside of Greg Biffle here. Can Clint Boyer steal the win? And now we see the 25 Chase Elliott coming out of pit road. He might be playing the long strategy here. Let's see. And now, Biffle falls back to second. Boyer with the lead. Larson trying to get to the inside of the 16. He gets there. Larson on the inside into turn 1. He clears him. Biffle falls back. Earnhardt now trying to get there. There's Jimmy Johnson, McMurray, and Kurt Busch a bit further back. Yeah, we got a battle between the two 7-time champions, Jimmy Johnson and Dale Earnhardt. That is the battle for 4th. And this race, unfortunately, has been absolute heartbreak for the 16 car. Last week, he stole the win at Kansas in the Bass Pro Shops 81, and today he might get the win in the IB Program 80 stolen from him, as it's currently between the 33 and the 42. The 16 trying to stay in it, trying to stay on the back bumper of these two cars. He needs them to go side by side in order to be able to catch up more. But it doesn't seem like that's going to happen, as Larson is trying to play it smart. He knows what the 16 needs. He's trying to stay behind him and draft with the 33 to get away, because then it'll just be the two of them on the last lap battling for the win. And we've also got some lap traffic ahead, I believe. That's the 12 of Ryan Newman, the 40 Sterling Marlin. These two might spoil the show here. You can see very rapidly approaching the 12 car. Larson, though, I think he might be losing some ground on the 33. Let's see, what's the time difference? Larson lost about 0.04 of a second there. Now here's the 33 about to overtake the 12 car. The 12's trying to stay on the lead lap. If the caution comes out, that is what the 12 needs right now, because he is significantly slower than the rest of the cars here. Larson trying to draft with the 33. He gets there. He gets to the inside of the 33. And Newman trying to block two cars at once. That slows the 33 down and lets the 42 get alongside him. That is what the 16 wants to see. Because now the 42 drops back a little. He didn't have the run out of turn 2. Into turn 3 they go. Biffle on the outside. Earnhardt trying to stay with them. Boyer is going to benefit from this. He extends his lead here. And Newman still blocking the 33 of Clinton Boyer. But Boyer is now going to get to the inside of him as they enter turn 1. Newman trying to stay alongside him. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to work. Boyer is clear of Ryan Newman out of turn 2. And now Larson trying to get a piece of it. He gets to be inside of him into turn 3. With Boyer, He extends his lead significantly. And now we have the final round of pit stops. Kyle Larson is in the pits right now. You can see multiple drivers. There's Kyle Larson, Greg Biffle, Dale Earnhardt, Jamie McMurray's on pit road. So let's see here. Who's got the superior pit strategy? Clinton Boyer with the race lead. Does he stay out? Yes, he does. The rest of them come in. The 48's on the pit road now. Does the 33 try to play it long? Does he try to extend the fuel? You can see the 42 and the 3 are off of pit road. There's the 16 as well. Remember, despite the fact that these cars are now passed by Clinton Boyer, Boyer still needs to make one more pit stop potentially, or he could try to stretch it. Let's see, what is his pit strategy going to be like? Does he pit? Yes, he's going to pit. Newman follows him in. And now Greg Biffle is going to take the lead here. He's now gotten himself back on the lead lap. He has to get back around Michigan Speedway faster than Clinton Boyer can make his pit stop here. Clint Boyer has scored points in every single race so far this season. Does he repeat it today? But this time, does he repeat it with a win? He was robbed of his win at Talladega after starting in dead last and making his way up to the front, leading laps, but falling short in the end. Does he get some vengeance for that loss? But Jimmy Johnson in the 48, the 7-time champion, is trying to steal that from him. As we have 3 laps to go to determine the winner of this race. Jimmy Johnson is going to get alongside him, tries to clear him in turn 2. New leader, the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. He clears the 33 of Clint Boyer. Boyer trying to fight back. He moves to the inside here. Boyer gets ahead of him in turn 3. Into turn 4. Out of turn 4 now. And Jimmy Johnson has a run here. Boyer led that time by. 2 laps to go to determine the winner of this race. Jimmy Johnson falls back a bit. Boyer has the lead. Onto the backstretch. Kurt Busch and Greg Biffle trying to catch up. Here comes Jimmy Johnson with a move to the inside now. Now, these two are battling for the win, but here comes Kurt Busch. The white flag is in the air. Green flag is still out. White flag in the air one more time around for these 3 drivers. Who's going to win it? Is it Jimmy Johnson, the 7-time champion? Clint Boyer, who's been so consistent throughout the season. The 48 gets ahead of them. Onto the backstretch for the final time. Kurt Busch falls back. Does Boyer have one more move left in the tank? He's trying. He packs it into the corner as hard as he can, but it won't matter. Jimmy Johnson is gonna win the IV Program 80 at Michigan Speedway. Absolute heartbreak for the 33 of Clint Boyer. Wonderful pit strategy, but unfortunately it didn't work for him. Greg Biffle falls back in 4th after a dominant race. And the points leader, Kevin Harvick, finishes 16th. This is going to shake up the points. And for some reason, the 33 stays on the track. I don't know why. I think he forgot that he was supposed to come down to pit road. But nevertheless, why is my screen glitching? Anyway, nevertheless, Jimmy Johnson is going to win this race. After starting in 4th, he comes out with the victory. Clint Boyer, after another heartbreaking result for the 33 team, he finishes 2nd. Kurt Busch 3rd, Greg Biffle 4th, Dale Earnhardt in 5th. That rounds out the top 5. In 6th, we got Kyle Larson, then Tony Stewart, Rusty Wallace, Brad Keselowski, the Daytona 80 winner, and Bobby Labonte to round out the top 10. And right behind Bobby Labonte is his brother Terry Labonte in 11th, with Carl Edwards, Matt Kenseth, Mark Martin, and Martin Truex Jr. to round out the top 15. And Kevin Harvick, the points leader going into this race and the pole sitter of the race, unfortunately falls all the way back to 16th. He salvages some points, but overall, a really good race gone wrong for the 4 team. Michael Waltrip gets things back going in the right direction. He finishes 17th. Ryan Blaney in 18th, and Jamie McMurray in 19th. After having such a strong race, unfortunately, during the last pit stop, he must have had a really slow pit stop. Unfortunately, what could have been a very strong run for the 1 team ends up being another very weak performance. Although he does earn points here, he could have earned so many more points. 19th for the 1 team. And Carson Hocevar, after having a terrible start to the season, finally gets some points on the board, finishing 20th, and is the last car to get points. Finishing just outside the top 20, and failing to earn points, we've got Jeff Gordon, Richard Petty, Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, Bill Elliott, Tyler Reddick, Dale Jr., Denny Hamlin, Casey Kane, Sterling Marlin, Ryan Newman, Sterling Marlin finishes on the lead lap. He's the last car to finish on the lead lap. That rounds out the top 30. And the 3 cars that finished the lap down, Ryan Newman, Chase Elliott, and Christopher Bell. Where did Bell started 10th? Newman. I don't know where Newman started. But doesn't matter because Christopher Bell has an absolute heartbreak of a race. Started in 10th, had the potential. Unfortunately, the execution did not go right for the team. So it's Jimmy Johnson, ex-out win at Michigan. Chase Elliott ended up losing 26 positions. Wow, an even greater difference from 25 to. So that's the race, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed that. Thank you very much all for watching. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time for the next race, which is next week. Let's see. Bristol, the TJ Designs 25 at Bristol Motor Speedway, December 19th. Mark your calendars, guys. Why is it as 8 o'clock? I don't think it's going to be at 8 o'clock. Um, the time might be modified, but that's what it is set as currently. So, but we know the TJ Designs 25 is going to be December 19th, 50 laps at Bristol Motor Speedway. It's going to be one heck of a race. Anyway, here's all the results will be uploaded later on. I will now work on the points, so enjoy.